Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to an episode of CSGO News. As always, time marks for every story down below for all of you guys. We have a lot of big stories for all of you today. Our first one dealing with ESL, who will be changing the rules for ESL Pro League starting next season, as well as ESL 1 Cologne. We can assume right now both Pro League and Cologne for those events will no longer be Valve sponsored or Valve oriented. They're going to change their rules, which includes how they're going to treat VAC ban and ESEA ban players. And this means players who have been VAC banned or ESEA banned at least 2 years ago or greater will now be allowed to play competitively in these events. That means players like KQLY, SF, Emilio, other French players and other pro players who have been VAC banned or received ESEA bans outside of 2 years ago can now return to the field. Now, why this was met with a lot of controversy, a lot of pro players out there tweeting out things like this or even this, they were upset because match fixers will be treated differently. So all you iBuyPower fans out there or fans of pro players who have match fixed for money in the past, they will be treated completely differently here, and they will still at this point in time not be allowed in Pro League next season or ESL 1 Cologne. Only actual cheaters will be allowed back. Of course, a lot of people upset about that. A lot of people in the community wanting those iBuyPower pro players back. Of course, some people not wanting them back, but it seems very, very weird how ESL would come out about this and only actually allow back VAC ban or ESEA ban players and not match fixing ban players. So an update for all of you, ESL, one of their vice presidents tweeted out this the other day, kind of telling us all there will be changes. They're actually going to reach out in a very good way here. They're going to be reaching out to both pro players as well as teams as well as organizations in order to actually see what rules adequately actually fix this problem and try and mediate the decision they're going to make. So at this point in time, guys, these rules have been in standing for 15 years, and they just now changed it to actually acquire those VAC ban and ESEA ban players outside of 2 years. It seems they're now going to get in touch with players, organizations, and teams and try and change this in the best way possible, which does mean that match fixers could be allowed sometime soon in the future, and this surely will change. Now, moving on from that, though, guys, we also had KQLY reached out to by HLTV on his chances of coming back. A lot of people wondering, will KQLY, will SF, will Emilio, will all these other VAC ban players or ESEA ban players, will they actually return to the CSGO pro scene? A lot of those guys have long and since stopped CSGO. KQLY not one of those guys. They've still been in touch, still playing the game and loving it. The real question at this point in time, though, is what teams would actually want a cheater on their roster? Now, we've actually had this in the past. Well, not necessarily cheating, but we've had incidences like in NFL football. We had Michael Vick in the dog incidents where he was involved in dog fighting. We thought what teams would actually bring him back. It'd be really bad publicity, but several teams took chances on him. So when I have my own personal opinion here, guys, I do think KQLY could return. The chances of him joining a full 5-man roster, though, that's where your problem lies. Will there be a full 4 other members who actually want to play with a past cheater? There's still a very big negative stigma around that. So the question is, he said there's a 0.1 chance or whatever that him actually coming back to competitive play. The real question is what teams are going to pick these guys up. I think there still will be an interest. A team is going to pick up a pro player if they see him as a potential talent and a potential way to make money no matter what. The question is not what teams will pick him up. The question is what players will be willing to play with this guy in the future. So ESL Pro League as well as ESL Cologne in the future and ESL in general should be changing those rules, guys. Will iBuyPower return? I really do think so sometime soon in the future. We'll have to see, though, in the coming weeks what rules are actually changed for ESL. And another big news for all of you, we have big changes coming soon to the R8 Negev, which have temporarily been removed from competitive play, both matchmaking as well as the pro scene. Apparently, according to CSGO Dev, to make significant changes to those weapons. Now, we still can use them, though, in casual game modes, and many of you guys have probably used the new R8, which has really had no big differences. No one's really noticed any big changes there. Still the same price of $850. The Negev, though, has gotten cheaper once again. Back in 2012, it was $5,700. Then a couple years ago as well, actually, it used to be for quite some time about $5,200, and now it's actually down to $4,000 for a Negev, now cheaper than an op, and apparently it's got a new fire rate. It's also sound like it's a little bit silenced. So big changes as of right now to those weapons, especially the Negev, and they're only temporary. So those changes are still going to be changed even more in the future. So at this point in time, you cannot use those in matchmaking or competitive play, and they will still be changed even more. But as of right now, the Negev, another big price change. Also with this update, guys, CSGO Dev announced a brand new 5-year veteran coin. What I mean by brand new is you can now get it physically sent to you at home, and it's going to be for the price of $45. What is kind of cool about that, I'll show you guys screenshots on screen, but I actually can't get to the webpage myself. Only people who actually have the virtual item itself, which makes a lot of sense, can actually get this item shipped to their home. So it will be limited edition, and only people who actually have the 5-year veteran coin in the game can get it in real life, which is a really cool update. Of course, that makes sense. So I'm going to be cool to see if anyone posts this on eBay and tries to sell their 5-year veteran coins they buy for $45, and they could really set the market price, and we'll see if they make money. But at this point in time, even if I was a 5-year veteran, I don't know if I'd order a nickel-sized coin for $45, but that is out there for all of you. And it's the smaller news for all of you. Maybe some of you guys can actually help this guy out. This guy is also named Markovic. Many of you recognize that last name. He is a cousin. His name is Peter Markovic, and he's actually a cousin of Niko Markovic, otherwise known as FaZe Niko. Many of you have heard about that name, of course. They both tweeted out the other day, Peter first talking about his team. He's actually a manager for a lower tier team known as Nation. They're trying to go to the Copenhagen games this year, coming up sometime soon. Now, I've told you all in a past story about all the Danish teams declining the invite to the Copenhagen games. Those Copenhagen games are still a $100,000 prize pool, and so Nico also trying to help them out. He tweeted out this and trying to support these guys. So I'll link these tweets down below for all of you. If any of you guys want to support this team or try to, get in contact with them. Their DMs are open. Their Twitters will be down below for all of you. Gonna be kind of cool to see if they actually get to go because of the struggles of these lower tier teams who actually have no money coming in, and the monetary funding that's required to travel these long distances or travel to these tournaments. It is very costly, and some of these teams, especially lower tier teams, have a hard time making enough money to support themselves. So I'll link those Twitters down below for all of you. And that was really cool news. NiKo's cousin is also in CSGO. I saw this story a couple days ago, but I never actually watched the video. Many of you guys know Brazilian superstar over there, all the Fallen and all those guys. SK Gaming has met this, and other Brazilian players out there. Neymar actually scored a goal the other day. I'm not really sure the match it was, but apparently people said on Reddit and all over the forums that he actually, one of his celebrations was throwing a flashbang, and I just saw the video for the first time. I'm going to show you guys this, but this guy, a professional player making millions of dollars who just scored a goal, actually did a flashbang celebration dance with his team. So watch this, guys. It is hilarious.
Oh! Golaço! Goal!
Throwing flashbang.
Do Brasil!
Flashbang.
Vou tomar vírus. Uruguai em homenagem ao Neymar. Que beleza, hein?
Like, how freaking awesome is that? This guy literally threw a flashbang and did a celebration for it. Gosh, it just, that made my day. Whoa, and I just got onto CSGO for the first time since last night. They also updated your friends, your messages, as well as your lobbies and people you recently played with. I'll show you guys a screenshot of that on screen right now. A great update where you can actually see your friend requests, your friends online, the number of them, and everything, and actually add friends directly from the home screen. That's actually a really cool update, and I just saw that right now. So more updated CSGO news. Heck yeah. And lastly, for all of you in very small news, we have a Brazilian team disbanding that will be the team who includes ZQK. And sorry for that tongue twister right there. He actually joined Selfless Gaming's ESEA roster for a short time and also stood in for them for an ESL Pro League match. Many people wondering why that was. And Selfless Gaming also tweeting out very suspicious things like this, the Brazilian flag a couple days ago. And then they tweeted out things like this saying, hey, we really like this addition. Could it be a permanent thing? And most teams probably wouldn't offer the question, like, should we make this a permanent thing, unless they had control of ZQK. And apparently that lineup he was previously a part of, X-Pain, is now the X-Pain disbanded roster. Now people like Lule as well as C, I think they have Dream Killer as well in their roster. They have all now disbanded. Those are all available Brazilian players. Unfortunately enough though, guys, ZQK has left that roster and that whole team has disbanded, but it does seem positive for his future as Selfless Gaming will most likely pick him up and replace their lost Uber as they lost him last week. So that's the last news for all of you guys. I do apologize for the very short episode. It's just kind of early for me in the morning. I have to go back home today to study for some big things. So you guys can all expect I will be gone and out of town tomorrow. I actually rushed this video out before I left town today. So I'm leaving town in about an hour's time. Tomorrow, guys, I will upload a video of me gambling with my roommate Pat. And let me tell you guys this, Pat is a really good gambler. So hope you guys all enjoyed that. That'll be my very first ever gambling video with Empire for the first time. And they've let me really push this back. So hope you guys all enjoyed that tomorrow. Hope you all enjoyed this episode today. If I missed anything, please comment down below. If I need to correct anything, please comment down below as well. I love to make corrections and make this show all the better for all of you. Now, as always, live, love, laugh a lot. Remember, I like you. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Remember, I like you. Bye.